guys, Dr. Traeger here. We just finished up our 5-year-old visit, and the purpose of this video is to remind us of some of the things that we talked about in the office. Also share these videos with people that weren't able to make it to the appointment, so that way they can kind of know what we're talking about and see what's kind of going on during these checkups. So at 5, there is a lot of really cool things that are happening. And the thing is, at 5 is kindergarten. That's huge. Okay, that's the whole point of turning 5. It seems like, and when we go to kindergarten, it seems like your whole world changes. I've done this kindergarten thing 3 times, and no matter what we do, it's really hard to be sending the kids along. I mean, it's like, oh, geez, you're going to kindergarten now, and you feel like you're growing up and getting older, and they are. And you know, you've put a lot of hard work into these past couple of years. And hopefully everyone feels like they're ready. You've done everything you can. If you haven't done what you can, you know, then it's too late. It's time to go. So there's a lot of changes that are going to come over the next, 10 years or so. And it seems like, the kid that you start off with on day 1 of kindergarten and the kid that comes home on the end of kindergarten, they're a different kid, and they really are going to be. And for a lot of families, you're going to be experiencing new things, new people that you've never really interacted with before, and that can be really, really exciting. So when we're in kindergarten, okay, so a couple things, we really want to make sure that we're ready for school, be ready to learn. So having a consistent bedtime is really important. Well, what time should a 5-year-old be going to bed? I don't know, what time works for you? 7:30, 8 o'clock? Yeah, 7:30, 8 o'clock is a great bedtime. Then you start winding down, a little bit before that. Make sure we're turning off screens, things like that, and get into just a good routine that works well for your family. And then also waking up in the morning at a regular time. If your kids are one of those rare kids that really likes to sleep in, then regular bedtime, regular waking up, even on the weekends if you can, then stick with it. That really will help out quite a bit. So when it is time to go back to school and we're starting off kindergarten, and every year, we really want you to celebrate it. I know I've mentioned this before, that celebrating milestones is a really big deal. So we love birthdays, even if it's something small. We love going to kindergarten because it's a really big deal, and take your pictures and celebrate that stuff and talk about it. Go to your school shopping and stuff like that. Try and make it something that really builds it up, because the kids are going to be nervous about it, and you're going to be nervous about it. And if we can kind of address that and get little sprinkles of it in as time goes on, then that makes the transition significantly better. Now that we are getting ready for kindergarten, so if kindergarten hasn't started yet for you guys, and we're 5, then get ready for kindergarten some more with some learning and reading ahead of time. So by now, when you enter kindergarten, as a patient of mine, I really like you to know your letters, capitals and lowercase, okay, by the time you enter kindergarten. And then we'd also like you to be able to count up to 20. Now, if you can write all them up to 20, that's pretty amazing. Okay, that's really good. That is above what the schools kind of expect at this point. But start working on those things. And some of you guys, your kids are ready for that already, which is fantastic. And if you are, then the next thing we'd like you to look at, and if this is your first kid, you may be new to this term, is this term called sight words, okay? And what the sight word is the way they're going to teach your kids to read when they're in school. So you may have noticed that your kids driving around town will be like, oh, that's Wendy's, or oh, that's McDonald's. Well, how do they know that? Because they can read it? No, they recognize the logo. And same thing with sight words. What they're wanting you to do is say, we want you to recognize that C-A-T is cat, and not that it's cat. You sound it out. So you just kind of recognize it. It's better for fluency, things like that. And that's why they will teach you sight words in school. So you can get little books that teach sight words. And actually, you can just go online and find top 100 sight words for kindergarten, and they will go over those, and you just start working on them. That's pretty cool if you can do those things. The other thing is that phonics, was in fashion a while ago, but there still is some really good science to show that phonics, or sounding out words, really makes a big difference. So if you want to, this is extra credit, you don't necessarily have to do this, and this is different than the way your kids will be taught here in McLean County, is phonics, okay? And there's a great book that we love, and it's called Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And what you do is you start off with one thing and one lesson, and it takes a couple days or a couple weeks, and then you go on to the next one. You just go slow, okay? I would say that I was really impressed with this when we started doing with our kids. By the time you got to 20 to 30 lessons into the book, the kids were sounding out words as you're driving around town, and you'd be like, how did you know that? That is so cool. And we've had some success with some 4-year-olds even picking this stuff up too. But if you want to, this is extra credit stuff. Don't feel like you have to add this to the list of a million things that you have going on as well. Okay, so after school, so you get home from school, that routine is huge. Now, if you're home with your kids after school, great, that's really cool. If you're in daycare or things like that, that's fine too, okay? That's kind of the reality for a lot of families. So what we'd like you to do is have as consistent of a routine as possible. So if you can say, yeah, we're gonna come home and we're gonna ask you how your school day is going. Some kids are really great. They'll tell you everything that happened from start to finish. Some kids will say, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so if that's the case, if you have oh, that's fine, kids, and you can say, hey, who'd you sit next to at lunch today? What did you guys learn in science? Oh, nothing, or whatever. So you just ask them things like that and try and prod just a little bit. You can get creative with it. I had this one neighbor who, walking home from the bus stop, they always say, so what was the, if a dinosaur came and ate your math class, what would they have eaten? I'm like, wow, that's kind of a weird way to get your kids to talk. And the kids talked. I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. So you just get creative with it and have a good time with it that fits with your family style and stuff like that. But come home, have a good routine, have a little snack, sit down, have a healthy snack. Now in kindergartens and most of the schools, they have a snack rule. And the rule is that you can have anything you want for a snack as long as it's a raw fruit or vegetable without dipping sauce. Okay, that's a great snack to have when you come home. So have some carrot sticks, have an apple, have some peaches, pears, something like that. That's great. It's a healthy snack. It's not too high in calories. And if they're not hungry enough for it, they won't eat it. That's okay. That's a normal kind of picky thing at this age still. And then afterwards, jump right into your homework. And if you don't have homework, that's fine. Give them homework. Okay, so give them that 20 minutes of reading, which most kindergartners are supposed to be doing. And while they're sitting there doing their homework, sit with them, okay? And you work on something, so off your phone, okay? So you read something or you do some homework, work from home or whatever, and just kind of show them and get in that routine, because it will be helpful for peer pressure, that they're sitting together, and also to help them get used to this is the routine, this is what we do. And oh yeah, forgot, when you come home, wash your hands. Get home, wash your hands, get cleaned up, things like that, because man, there's a lot of germs in school, and it's a good routine to kind of get into. Okay, from a development point of view at this age, they should be able to skip, they should be able to draw people with 6 different body parts, counting, colors, things like that. All of those are things that you should be doing by the time that we get into kindergarten. So kindergarten, that's kind of a big deal. And it should be an exciting time for all of you guys. Having said that, sometimes when we get into kindergarten, there's some issues with school fears, anxieties, things like that. And you have to feel out your child, okay? If they're the kind of person that really likes to be built up and talked up and stuff like that, then you can do that. If it's best to not talk about it and kind of throw them into it, yeah, that's them too. But ask for guidance from the school, from your teacher. Say, hey, what are you noticing? What can I do to help with that? Sometimes with these situational kind of anxiety things, there's some books that are out there that are great. We found a really good one that we like for girls, especially. It's called Raising Worry-Free Girls, and it's written by a gal named Sissy Goff. Good book. We like that one quite a bit. I haven't found a great boy-specific book for anxiety. So if you see one, let me know, and I'll add it to the notes on this thing. But it's really. Yeah, it's just every kid is different, and if you're running into those kinds of issues, let us know. Okay, so if every day with school or something like that, causing some issues, let us know, because we have some really good options for that. Okay, so this is 5. This is fun. It gets better, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So let us know if you have any questions. The next time that we'll see you guys is when we are 6, and yeah, keep up the good work. Have a nice day, guys.